Hello, this is Marian, your American English teacher, and welcome back to the English Grammar course. Today's lesson will focus on adjectives, but first, let's review last week's content. In our last video, we studied the following pronouns. The reflexive pronouns myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. And they are used to refer to the person or animal that is the subject of the verb. For example, Jamie can't forgive himself for what he did. The reciprocal pronouns are each other, one another, and they are used when two or more people do the same thing. For instance, they like each other. A demonstrative pronoun refers to a specific thing to indicate whether it is close or far in space and or time. The demonstrative pronouns are this, these, that, those. For example, this flower here is more beautiful than that one over there. We use the demonstrative pronoun that because the flower is far in distance to the speaker. The pronoun that both refers to and replaces the noun flower. In the phrase, this flower here, this is not a demonstrative pronoun because it is in front of the noun flower. It doesn't replace it. We use relative pronouns to introduce relative clauses, which is simply a part of a sentence used to clarify or add information about who or what we are talking about. We use the relative pronouns who and whom for people, which for things, and that for people and things, and whose to indicate ownership. For example, I can't believe it. That never should have happened. Interrogative pronouns, which are who, what, where, whom, which, whose, are used to ask questions. The interrogative pronoun refers to a person, place, time, information, or thing we don't know. For example, where is the party? Indefinite pronouns like somewhere, anyone, nobody, and more are used to refer to non-specific people or things. Can someone help me, please? Great work. Now it's practice time. Can you figure out which pronoun to use in these sentences? The book I read last month was not very good. I didn't like that one. We use the demonstrative pronoun that to replace and refer to the noun book. Last month indicates that the book read was far in the past. That book I read last month was not very good. That is a demonstrative pronoun. Who did you invite to your birthday? Who is an interrogative pronoun. Will you look at yourself in the mirror? You need a haircut. Yourself is a reflexive pronoun. All three of them bought Christmas gifts for one another. They each loved what they got. One another is a reciprocal pronoun. I don't trust myself with sharp knives. Myself is a reflexive pronoun. There are two possible answers for this question. Which dress should I wear? What dress should I wear? Which and what are both interrogative pronouns which can be used for things. All right, we finished our review. Great job. Now it's time to move on to adjectives. An adjective is a word used to describe nouns such as people, objects, events, substances, and ideas. Using adjectives are a great way to elevate your spoken and written English and help you to more clearly and vividly express your thoughts and feelings. Let's compare a sentence with adjectives and one with none. I found a bag today. This is a very basic sentence structure. What does the bag look like? We don't know. I found a beautiful red silk bag today. Not only do we have a description of the bag, we can imagine what it looks like in our head. We also have a sense of how the speaker feels about the bag. Beautiful indicates that they are very happy with the bag they found. See how the adjectives gives you a better idea of what is happening in the sentence? Some adjectives have only one form. For example, tall, fat, cute, simple, long. While some adjectives can become their opposite meaning or antonym by adding a prefix to them. If you remember our introduction to this course, you will know that a prefix is a combination of letters used at the beginning. If you remember the introduction to this course, you will know that a prefix is a combination of letters we can add to a word to change its meaning. For example, legal, illegal. Legal is something you can do. Illegal is something you should not do. sensitive, insensitive, honest, dishonest, famous, infamous. All these words are adjectives, but they mean different things with a prefix in front of them. The prefixes il, in, di, and ir are common prefixes. So this is how you add a prefix to an adjective to form a new word. Now we can also form adjectives by adding a suffix to a noun. A suffix is a combination of letters we add at the end of a word to make a new one. For example, hair is a noun. Hairy is an adjective. Beauty is a noun. Beautiful is an adjective. Luck, lucky. Magic, magical. Another way to form adjectives is by adding a suffix to a verb. For example, attract, attractive. Enjoy, enjoyable. Hate, hateful. Create, creative. Now let's practice. Can you identify the adjectives? The green dress is gorgeous. In this sentence, we have two adjectives. Green describes the color of the dress, and gorgeous describes how the speaker feels about the dress. The bright red apple tasted delicious. In this sentence, we have three adjectives. Bright describes the appearance of the apple. Red describes the color of the apple, and delicious indicates how the speaker feels about it. The shining moon hung tall in the sky. In this sentence, we have two adjectives to describe the moon: shining and tall. Well done! Now, adjectives can be used in three different ways in a sentence. First, between an article and a noun. For example, I'm eating a juicy strawberry. A is an article and strawberry is a noun. Juicy is the adjective describing the strawberry. The kind man lent me his jumper. We can use an adjective after a linking verb. The classroom is empty. Ben is handsome. In both these sentences, is the linking verb, and empty and handsome are the adjectives. We will learn more about linking verbs later on in the course. We can also use an adjective after a noun or an indefinite pronoun. For example, is there anything special I should buy from the shop? anything is an indefinite pronoun, and special is the adjective. I spoke to the person concerned. Now, where it gets tricky is when we want to use more than one adjective before a noun. Adjectives fall into two categories: cumulative and coordinate. Cumulative adjectives are used when the adjectives are from different categories. For example, size, age, or quantity, and must be used in a specific order. Cumulative adjectives are recognizable because if you change their order, the sentence no longer makes sense or holds the same meaning. For example, the waiter brought a tall baby chair. The waiter brought a baby tall chair. As you can see, the first sentence contains cumulative adjectives. The word baby must be next to the noun it modifies, chair, to make sense. With the cumulative adjectives reversed, the meaning of the phrase completely changes. Now here is a comprehensive list on how to order cumulative adjectives. Generally, it is best to use 2 or 3 adjectives at most with a single noun in order to not confuse or overwhelm the sentence. So this is the order in which we use cumulative adjectives. First, quantity. For example, 1, 2, 6, entire. Next, opinion. Nice, friendly, annoying, charming. These adjectives indicate how we feel about something or someone. Size or measurement. Big, small, tall, tiny, large. Then, by age. Old, young, mature, elderly. Next, by shape. Round, triangular, bent. Color. Rose, gold, faded, bright. Proper adjectives like origin, nationality, and religion. For example, Christian, German, indigenous. Next, by material, wooden, cotton, silk. And finally, by purpose, makeup brush, dining room. For example, I have 2 tall, pink makeup brushes. Or, yesterday I met 5 friendly German men. See how I followed the adjectives from 1 down to 9? Alright, it's time to practice. Can you guess which sentence is correct? 2 young students arrived late for class. Young 2 students arrived late for class. The first sentence is correct. The number of students has to come before the age. A delightful old Japanese man helped me with my suitcase. A Japanese, delightful old man helped me with my suitcase. Once again, the first sentence is correct. The wooden dining brown table is lovely. The brown wooden dining table is lovely. The second sentence is correct. Well done. Now let's move on to coordinate adjectives. In contrast to cumulative adjectives, coordinates individually modify a noun and are usually separated by a comma. A general rule to help you recognize them is if two or more adjectives are from a same category, then they are coordinate and you use a comma. For example, the gigantic, impressive tree loomed over the park. In this sentence, the adjectives gigantic and impressive both refer to the size and stature of the tree. Coordinate adjectives can be used in any order without changing the meaning of a sentence. For example, she was a smart, beautiful woman. She was a beautiful, smart woman. She was a beautiful and smart woman. Both these adjectives, beautiful and smart, describe how the speaker feels about the woman. They belong to the same category of adjectives and therefore can be used in any order. Knowing the difference between coordinate and cumulative adjectives can be very tricky because native speakers usually just know what sounds good without ever considering the logic of it. But following these general rules will help you improve as you develop your English instincts. As always, the best way to progress is to practice. So let's go. This is a stunning old Italian villa. In this sentence, we have three adjectives. Stunning, which describes how the speaker feels about the villa. Old, which indicates the age of the villa. And Italian, which describes its origin or nationality. All three adjectives belong to different categories and are therefore cumulative. The beautiful, elegant piano was difficult to move. There are two adjectives in this sentence, beautiful and elegant. They both describe how the speaker feels about the piano. Therefore, they are coordinate adjectives and are separated by a comma. The three hungry white bears swam in the river. In this sentence, there are three adjectives, 3. Hungry, white. They are cumulative adjectives. Great job! Now it's time to practice identifying adjectives in a popular context. Here is an extract from a short fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. They are famous for their stories like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Rapunzel, and more. This story is called Jorinda and Jorindel. Let's read the text. There was once an old castle that stood in the middle of a deep, gloomy wood, and in the castle lived an old fairy. Now, this fairy could take any shape she pleased. All day long she flew about in the form of an owl, or crept about the country like a cat. But at night she always became an old woman again. When any young man came within 100 paces of her castle, he became quite fixed and could not move a step till she came and set him free, which she would not do till he had given his word never to come there again. But when any pretty maiden came within that space, she was changed into a bird, and the fairy put her in a cage and hung her up in a chamber in the castle. There were 700 of these cages hanging in the castle, and all with beautiful birds in them. All right, now it's your turn. You have 3 minutes to find and identify all the adjectives in this text. Are you ready? Let's go. Time's up! Well done, everybody. So in this text, there are a total of 10 adjectives. Old, deep, gloomy, old, young, 100, pretty, 7, beautiful. Notice how 100 is an adjective when placed before the noun paces. But 7 is an adjective before the noun 100. 100 can both be a noun and an adjective depending on how it is used in a sentence. Great work! Now time for review. An adjective is a word used to describe nouns such as people, objects, events, substances, and ideas. Some adjectives have only one form. Others you can create by adding a prefix or a suffix to either the adjective, noun, or verb. Adjectives can be used in 3 different ways in a sentence: between an article and a noun, after a linking verb, or after a noun or indefinite pronoun. Cumulative adjectives are usually adjectives from different categories like age, origin, purpose, material, color. In contrast, coordinate adjectives individually modify a noun and are separated by a comma. They are usually from the same category of adjectives. Good job sticking through this tricky yet very important lesson. In our next video, we will continue on our journey in the world of adjectives. Next stop, comparatives and superlatives. See you soon!